January 1st, 2024. Happy New Year's to all those who celebrate. I'm just joking. I'm just being a punk because I don't really give a shit. And I don't know, I don't even want to label myself, but as somebody that just wants to live more present. Doesn't really matter what the stamp is. I'm just going with it. But, I had fun and watched the fireworks last night. Had a really good view of them. But I had a lot come up and I didn't make any plans and just went with what I felt. And funny enough, because I've been working on this project, Nirvana Flowers, I've been listening to some more Nirvana songs. And last night I sat down and really deep dove into some of my favorite Nirvana songs. And I made a video. My first video is about what Kurt Cobain taught me. But I want to further that. That's why I'm making this video. It's because I realized that he gave me so much. And then I realized music has given me so much. And lyrically and harmonically, music has absolutely been a pathway for my self-realization, and it's been a gateway into heaven. And without it, I don't think I would have ever gotten this far in life. Music has absolutely been an essential part of my beingness. And as this unlimited creator, I wouldn't have it any other way. I live for art. I live for music. I love my eyes. I love my ears. I love the ability to feel and to contemplate music on all these different levels. And I grew up playing music. I've dabbled with sitar this last year. I haven't been able to commit fully to it yet, but it's something I'm intending to pursue more of. But music has been an essential part of my life, and it saved me through the pandemic when everyone was shut down. I was out taking walks and riding my bike and listening to music. It got me out, it got me up, and it's kept me afloat. And I listened to really positive and really influential music that lifted me when I felt like I needed it. But anyhow, last night I turned on All Apologies. And I've heard the song probably 1,000 times. I loved it. I loved it as a 15-year-old teenager. Loved watching Nirvana play the Unplugged on TV, and they'd replay it all the time. I was such an MTV teen. I personally feel like I got MTV at its best. I'm this kind of late Gen X, early millennial, exennial, or whatever the label they call us. I graduated in 2000. This body in this dream is supposedly almost 42. I'm timeless. I feel like an eternal wave. Some days I feel more like a 15-year-old, and some days I feel more like a 75-year-old. So I just would rather not even put the label of an age on my existence anymore, but just the body's been here supposedly about 41, 42 years. And so I grew up in this really beautiful time of MTV, actually playing music. And it was so fun because my best friend growing up, we met when we were 11 in 6th grade. We met in music class. I played flute, she played clarinet, and we had another friend, and we were a little trio until we spit the other friend out because she was kind of bitchy, and then the two of us became lifelong friends. We're still friends. But I thank her because she was also one of the segues into me getting into alternative rock, punk, and even EDM later. And our love of music really was a binding force between us. And I think we both felt so similar that music gave us a permission to be ourselves, to take off all the conditioning of religion, my Christian background, and the conditioning of our schools and our parents, and we were able to just feel and just be ourselves with music, especially alternative and then later punk. We were able to take that good girl and let her be free and wild and go into the mosh pit and go skateboard and be rowdy with boys and listen to this, you know, intense music. We didn't have to be anything. We could just be wild and free. We could be angry, we could be hateful, we could be spiteful, we could be self-punishing, and all of it was okay. And that's what the 90s gave us, and I think that's why we still love the 90s, is because it was a very free time without people canceling us and saying you're wrong for being that way. The 90s was this invitation, especially for Gen X, to let all that pent-up anger just be explosive, and to feel the pain, and to be rowdy, and to headbang, and to shake ourselves, and just like wake ourselves up, and just let ourselves be exactly as we are. And last night I listened to Come As You Are, and I listened to, well, so many, but Come As You Are hit me a lot differently. I'll get into that first. I've heard that song so many times. I used to sing it to myself all the time. I remember bus rides to school, and even my mom was pretty cool about letting me listen to all that while she was driving us around. And I was too young to understand the weight of what that song really is, and how powerful it really is to come as you are and to be loved as you are, and no, he doesn't have a gun. He's not going to hurt you. No one's going to hurt you for just being as you are. And what a safe place. So I want to table that. And then last night I got into really deep, and it just brought so many tears to my eyes. I just started crying. And I was listening to All Apologies, and that I encourage you to go back and look at those lyrics, and look at them from a place of the non-dual viewpoint, or the Buddhist viewpoint, or even the Christian viewpoint, and just look at those lyrics. I'm not going to recite them all, but I'm going to tell you what that song means to me. I also did a little research, just a little research on what that song has meant to people, and I think it has meant similar to other people. And some people in these Reddit forums I saw were just like scratching their head. They didn't quite get it. But as this, you know, person that has worked to feel nirvana and bliss in her life, these lyrics have been a profound segue into that. And who else should I be? Who else can I be? I mean, that's not the lyric, but he just comes off asking, like, I have failed, I have fucked up, I am awful, I've been a hater, and all I have is this. In the sun, I feel one. Married and buried, I feel complete, just in the sun. And all I have is all that I am. These are not the lyrics, but this is what it means to me. It's just, all in all is who we are. And I realize on this pathway to bliss, on this pathway to nirvana, enlightenment, even in the Christian path to salvation, there comes a point where we have to look at our ego and our beingness, and we have to just accept how it is. There's so much pressure, and I've been part of this culture to be a high performer, to be positive, to be this like boss bitch, to be this like good girl, to be rays of sunshine and love and light. And I'm all for that. I love all that. I'm a very happy person because I have learned it's okay to come as I am. I've learned it's okay to accept that I'm a fucking loser sometimes, and that I am just awful. I'm a hater. I'm a hypocrite. I am, just fucking condescending sometimes, a whiny bitch. I'm all of that. The character of Candace, the ego, this character, the God, is perfect and is all, is complete. And as I come into the spiritual growth, I realize that Kurt Cobain and these lyrics have actually been very pivotal into that self-acceptance of just owning our weakness, owning the fact that we feel incomplete and separate of God. And it's in that acceptance of such that we can be so humbled and so broken open and so just crushed to our deepest essence and discover that we've always been complete. We're all in this one space, just raw, human, perfect. And the more I come into this just acceptance of what is, instead of making it good or bad or judging myself for being this way or that way, the more I accept what is, I can accept the world for what it is. I can accept others how they are. I can allow people to come as they are and just have profound love, just profound grace. But it starts with just the acceptance that all just is. And that's what I love Nirvana for, is there's no shaming that, being sad, being depressed, being melancholy is awful. That's what I just loved about the grunge era, is that life fucking hurts sometimes. And some of us, all of us, have a good reason to cry. At the deepest essence, we're crying because we thought we were lost. We thought we were separate from God. And we thought that we were awful. We must have done something wrong to deserve feeling so incomplete as a human being. But we forgot that we're not a human being. We're the light that shines through. We are the eternal light. And what I loved about All Apologies is that final verse, that mantra he just keeps repeating, all in all is all we are. And it's a mantra, and he just repeats it, and it becomes a trance. What I learned, this is a side note, I'm a storyteller, but as a side note, on this day 19 years ago, I went to Tanzania, Africa, and I spent 2 months in Tanzania, and I worked with the tribe, and the Maasai tribe, and I'll have to do a separate video on that. That's a whole beautiful story, and got so much juice on that. But I did a rain dance, and we made a village rain after months of no rain. Their crops were dried out, and that the crops were vital to their existence, and they needed water to replenish everything. So we did a true African rain dance. And what I learned is that at first it seems so boring because we're just drumming and dancing and repeating the same mantra. I don't remember the exact mantra. We were speaking Swahili or something in the Maasai, I can't remember, but we were singing a mantra, and I didn't understand it. I was 22, and I was raised in the Christian religion, so we didn't have mantras. But anyhow, we were just singing, and all of a sudden, the trance, singing for hours. We drummed for 8 hours, morning till night, break for lunch for a quick bit, just continuous drumming and singing a mantra. I think we only had 2 different mantras for 8 hours. And eventually it puts you in a spell and you believe it. And that's what Kurt Cobain understood. All in all is all we are. All in all is all we are. It's a spell. It's a mantra. It puts you in this hypnotic space where you realize we're all just one. We're free. We're free just as we are. We don't need to do anything different. We don't need to set these outlandish goals and push ourselves to these extraordinary things. I mean, do it if you want. That's just it. All this is just play. It's just for fun at this rate. But there's nothing we need to do to be complete but to know that we are complete. We are complete at the lowest, most sinful, most awful times. After murder, after suicide, after racism, or even raping somebody, we're still complete. Because it's not who we really are. It's just a thing that happened. And there is no real good or bad because all that's relative. And that's what I fucking loved Kurt Cobain for, is he understood the relativity in all of it. I personally think he was the Jim Morrison of the 90s, who is also one of my all-time favorite artists, who I will get into storytelling about him. But come as you are, doused in bleach. It's okay. You're a mess. Just your character's a mess. And so is mine. I, Candace, am far from a saint. I'm a fucking hater sometimes. It just comes out. I can't even act like I'm better and holier. I have a lot of love in me. I'm a free-spirited lover, but you know, there's still judgment that exists in this identity. I'm working it out, but I'm understanding the way to bliss in Nirvana is just to come as I am, just raw, just as this, because the God, the eternal light, who I really am, outshines all of that. In the sun, I'm one. So are you.